Alright, so let me say a formal welcome to you all to this presentation this evening, more search traffic and more affiliate income in 2012. That's the first webinar I've done for the new year, albeit a little bit late, so Josh and I are both quite excited to have you guys here. We've been preparing this for the last few days now. We've got some pretty important information to share with you this evening. I want to try and get through everything we've got here within about 40 to 45 minutes and then have a good long question period for 15 minutes to half an hour so we can both give all the information we have to give here and take as many questions as you guys have about either about the presentation and the information there or just anything that's concerning you, anything that you've got on your mind at the moment that you would like to have answered. So without further ado, let us begin. So this presentation tonight is about a few different things, kind of random but all connected in an important way. One of the reasons I wanted to put this presentation together and to do it at the moment was that this is a time when there's a lot of stuff happening, particularly with regard to the search engines, but really with regard to the internet in general. It's a time, I mean, that should be a weird thing to say because there's always a lot happening and always a lot changing in the world of well, the internet generally, but marketing on the internet specifically. And so we become used to how much things are changing. But it feels, and it may be subjective and not the complete truth, but it feels to us as people who have been doing this for a long time as a period where things are changing now even more quickly and changing with more volume than perhaps they ever have done. These are changes to do with the search engines, they're changes to do with regulations, to do with marketing online, what you can and can't do, and some other changes as well. So they're very interesting times at the moment, and they're calling for important measures. It's perhaps because of all of the above, it's perhaps most important now to be keeping up to date, to be aware of everything that's happening and how it could affect you and your business moving forward. If you're planning to be building a business online, you want it to be around for the next few years, and if you want it to be around for the next few years, you have to be conscious of the things that are going to affect it in the next few years. And that's some of what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I said a bunch of things that I put down on the point, so I'm just going to catch up to my own mind here. Yeah, it's an interesting time for more reasons than that, the ones that I just stated. Because while we have to be aware of the changes that are happening, we can, and people can also get so caught up in them that they start to doubt everything. They start to worry that because this particular thing is no longer working or is no longer as powerful, then maybe it's all not going to work, and maybe this affiliate marketing thing just isn't for me, and maybe I have to find something else to do and go back and get a different job or something like that. And the increased speed of change can cause additional worry for people, cause people to become irrational with their decisions regarding their online business. So the point I wanted to make is that it's interesting because it's a time of very rapid change in the search engines and in affiliate marketing, but it's also a time when certain things that have always worked are still working very, very well. So it's weird because if we take the search engines, for example, there's a lot of new interesting things that are being added to the algorithm. There's a lot of things that search engine marketers are talking about doing now that they've never had to do in the past. We're going to talk about them a little bit soon. And people are getting so obsessed with them, but at the same time, there is people actually making money in the search engines who are doing the things that they have always done, with some minor variations. Not all the things that they have always done, but some of the things that they've always done. So, for example, if we're talking about affiliate marketing and talking about SEO and link building in particular, so there's all kind of new forms of link building that people are talking about at the moment with regard to building links via social sources, building links via all kind of interesting new things. I'll get to that a little bit later on. But it doesn't totally changed the fact that simple things like in-content anchor text links, for example, and focusing the anchor text of your keyword, focusing your anchor text on the keyword you want to rank for and just bombing that page with links, even with what some people might call relatively low quality links, that stuff is still working. It's not that the core of the algorithm has changed so much that it's unrecognizable. It's just that new things are getting added on top of the same core, if you will. So what we really need to know as people who are trying to make money in the search engine and as affiliates is, what is it at that core which hasn't changed, and what is it that wasn't at the core that we might have been doing that now is different, has been scraped off and has had some new things replace it. So that's some of the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about now. And as one particular example, one point is those link building tactics. I mean, building in-content links, it works as well as it ever has. Building high PR links, for example, do follow links, for example, all those simple things, that the effectiveness of that hasn't changed. And in some cases, even certain forms of crappy link building are still working the same. But again, talk about that later. It's just an interesting, the contrast is interesting to note at the moment, because a lot is changing, but the effectiveness of old stuff is still very clear. The final point I wanted to make before we move on to actually discussing some of these changes specifically is this very important point. We're going to talk about some things that might be considered technical in their nature, or they're specific. So we're going to talk, for example, about changes that have been made to the search engine algorithm in the last few months, and how they're affecting rankings and how they're affecting your affiliate income and so on. But it's weird, because when we see people fail in their affiliate marketing efforts, it's rarely because of an algorithm change, and it's mostly because of something very different. And usually that's a mindset issue or a strategy problem. So while it is very interesting and important to talk about these technical aspects, to talk about how algorithms are changing and how they're going to affect what we're doing online, for people who are really trying to build a business, especially those who are getting started, less so people who have already got something established, been doing this for a long time, you can't get too bogged down in it. You have to remember that it's interesting and it's important, but it's not as important as certain other things, like the way that you are thinking about approaching your online business and the broad strategy that you're using. So all of the reasons we see for people not quite making it, not quite reaching their goals, is almost never to do with some technical algorithm change. I mean, there's the rare exception where someone did everything right, built up a fantastic site, it was doing great and making money, and then they got sandboxed in the search engines. They did something wrong with their link building and they got sandboxed, and so their income disappeared. And even then, you can tend to think that this happened because of an algorithm change, or that was the search engines that caused that person to not succeed in their online marketing. But even that can be drawn back to something different. For example, what happened after their site was slapped in the search engines? How did that person react mentally? What actions did they take from that point on? Things like that determine their success or failure much more so than what did or didn't change with the algorithm, if you know what I mean. So we have to be aware of these things, we have to understand them, but we can't get so caught up in them that we forget what's more important. To give you some ideas, a little more specific, there's 5 words that I would consider important in helping you avoid that fate. Avoid the fate of either getting caught up in these technical matters, or just generally not reaching your goals with your affiliate marketing, with your online stuff. These are those 5 words. The first one, patience. So patience, or a lack of patience, leads to many problems for people building their online businesses and doing affiliate marketing. Patience is what causes you, or a lack of patience is what causes you to build your backlinks too quickly and to get sandboxed in the search engines. A lack of patience is what causes you to give up on a keyword or a website that you have before it's ranking, because you can't wait long enough to continue working on it to the point where it's going to succeed. So you might have been working for a month on the site and you haven't seen any results, and while that's completely